Hi, everybody. This is not a live with Miss Steph. As you can tell, I'm gonna upload. You may be hearing a lot of stuff in the background, like a lot, because I thought it would be a great video to make to just talk about the various pieces, the various parts of doing traveling science teacher. One of the significant parts of traveling science teacher is the traveling part. So right now I am in a subway station. All right. So for those of you who don't know, let's talk a little science about the subway stations and so forth. For those of you who are not familiar with, please stand away from the platform edge. Every New Yorker knows that sound. Okay. There was a video about the person who does that voice. Anywho, yeah, so Ms. Steph here doing a quick little video, maybe not quick, but I'm waiting on the train. So how can I be productive? By doing VEDA 22, day 22 of VEDA video every day in April. And like I said, I thought it would be fun to, well, not just fun, but informative for those of you who don't live in New York City, who follow me, to let you be able to see the a subway station. And this is one of the sleeker ones because it's newer. It's actually one of the relatively remodeled stations in the last, I would say, 10 years. I believe they redid this station about 10 years ago. See? More announcements. Unfortunately, there has been a trend to like subway surf. Yes, to actually ride outside of the subway. And so there are different safety announcements that are made while you're in the subway. Again, this is really more for folks who don't live here and don't know the tips and tricks. But yeah, traveling around and making my way from school to school and from school back to my home office and between various things, I thought it would be cool to come on really quick. I also didn't realize how many announcements are made in just a few minutes of waiting for a subway, for your train to come. That's what, like the third announcement that's been made just in this 2.5 minute video. Okay, yeah, so that's what that particular announcement is about, basically a service change. So the first one that you heard was the reminder to, be careful on the platform, to not stand too close. The second one was about subway surfing, which unfortunately a lot of young people are doing. I don't want to say a lot, but enough to where there's now announcements. And that third one must have been some type of service change and all that. But yeah, getting back to what it's like to travel around New York City, I have my bag, okay, and then I have personal items. I start to learn the grocery stores that are closed, and it's like, hey, I know that there's a grocery store up here. I'm actually at the 162nd and St. Nicholas Avenue train station. You're hearing a train come in. Why am I not rushing to go downstairs to get on that train? Because I know it's not my train. That's another New Yorker just kind of thing. You know if it's going uptown or downtown. I happen to be going downtown. I am at the train station that's closest to my most northern traveling science teacher location. That train is mine. So we'll finish this another time. I'll talk to y'all in a second when I get back home.
This is a Brooklyn Valley C local train. The next stop is 155th Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
That's the other announcement we know about. So we need that bus. That bus is coming from where we're gonna take it to. So we'll see if this bus driver is about to go on a break or if they're actually gonna come make this loop and come get us. Let's find out. So yeah, while we wait, let's have a little discussion. For those of you who watched the video about Saturday, it was a short video because it was that busy. Saturday was like that poppin', that legit I arrived and I planned to take like a half hour for a setup. Praise the Lord, I'm like very organized and I know where everything is in my bag and can set up in 5 minutes. Because of that's the situation. I got there, children were already there, ready and waiting from an event that already happened. So the reason I mentioned Saturday is because this is where I was at. You see that park that's right across there? St. Nicholas Park, or rather part of St. Nicholas Park. St. Nicholas Park actually runs like a good like 35 bucks, which is normal here in New York City. But yeah, that being said, I got there and it was like on from jump. The kids were like, "Are you ready?" I had barely even put out the free slime sign, and like for real, some of these kids didn't even look like they were old enough to be able to read, but they knew that I was doing something that they wanted. And I said back up from the table multiple times, but that's, you know, they get excited and that's the whole point. And as I shared with y'all before, 50 of the 52 children that I saw, 52 of the 54 kids that I saw, because actually my 2 kids that I saw, their families were moving very quickly and actually didn't have time to get slime. But because those 2 kids have me during the week, one of them is a upper elementary school child that I see at T-Miles, and another one is a pre-K kid that I see over here at Chloe Day. And legit, those 2 kids didn't even get slime. They didn't even ask. Their parents were like, "They have you, so we're gonna keep it moving, but we're glad to see you out here, Miss Stephanie." And it was also interesting. It was super cute. The younger child, who's 3, kind of, it seemed like he didn't even want to say hi. And I explained to the mom that I am out of context. So shout out in the comments, like mention in the comments if you as an educator have had this before. Usually the older kids will see you and get really excited because they feel there's a different connection to the world that they have the older they get. But sometimes the little ones will just be like, "You are in the wrong place. You live at school and I don't know why I'm seeing you right now," kind of thing. Because he was tired and everything, and he didn't even want to say hi. And I told the mom, I said, that's actually not abnormal, because she knows this kid literally will wear science themed clothing on the day he knows he's gonna have science. So I think she was kind of perplexed by his reaction. And if you're watching the video, you know who you are. Hi. But it was totally fine. I was like, it's okay, because though it seems like peculiar behavior, it is actually very normal behavior, to just be like, "No, I don't want to say hi." So I am here waiting on the bus. Remember, I said that we needed to see whether or not this bus is going to come get us, okay, or if the bus driver was on a break, because this particular stop is the end of the line, or rather one of the ends, right, because lines have 2 anyways, well, line segments. Yes, science nerdish, but this is one of the ends of the line for this bus line. Hi! Some of my kids are coming by. I'll have to talk to y'all later.
Say it again. Okay.
Next stop, West 135th Street and Adam C. Powell Boulevard. Transfer available to M2 Limited.
All right, I'm on.
I've made it home. So since today's Tuesday, I will do a couple of factors. Not only is today Tuesday and just my schedule is situated a certain kind of way, because remember, intentional, and I plan certain things. I will now get something to eat. Well, I have a task to do, a personal wellness task to do, and then I will get something to eat, and I will relax for possibly all the way until I get ready to go to my next center. On Tuesday, I try to give myself a relatively quote-unquote long lunch, because of a lot of things. One, I've talked to you all about how I feel. Actually, I'm going to turn myself this way. How I feel and how I'm starting to manage the idea of rest and to make sure that that's fully incorporated into my schedule. It's super important. And as I've said, as a leader of a community, which I am the leader of the Miss Steph Science Club community, being Miss Steph, it's important that I demonstrate that skill and use that skill because, like I said, it's a skill. Because not only is it a skill, but it's a tool and a resource, right? Like, so it's all of those things. And you see me wiggling my nose because the allergies are on, because the leaves have come out. I'm glad of the leaves, and I'm glad of the warmer climate. This hoodie, I probably won't even need to wear the hoodie on my way to the next class because it should be up to 80 today. But all that being said, I do take a bit of a longer break on Tuesday. So I'm going to kind of edit this down, and this will be it. I'm going to say this is the end of this video. VEDA day 22. I'm so thankful to have gotten this far towards meeting this goal that I set for myself to do these videos. And I think they've been helpful for y'all and as well for me. Until next time, have an absolutely wonderful day.